Buddy, how's it going? This is the Strat Chat podcast, and we have a very special guest today. My name is John Dunphy. Of course, I'm joined by one of my ride or dies, Kyle Petty, and we have the lovely JOI SCWEITZER joining us here today.
Yes.
We have a little opening theme, so we want to play that for you, Joy. So we're going to do that now. Hope you like it. Here we go.
Let's hear it.
All right. Once again, this is the Strat Chat podcast, your favorite reality TV podcast. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do. I know, a little presumptuous, but if you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at Strat Chat Pod on Twitter and Instagram, or our wonderful website, stratchatpod.com. Joy, you might have noticed in there was another person in that opening, Gina Morgino. She is one of our co-hosts here on Strat Chat Pod. Unfortunately, she had to work today, so she wasn't able to make it. So we'll be missing her.
We worked around your schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a 4-day this morning, and I knew, I was like, well, I don't want to feel rushed, so I'm going to do it around like 4:35, just because I wanted to. I was excited about it. I didn't want to review.
Yeah.
No, we love it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh no.
You could have said anytime. You could have said anytime, and I would have been like, yeah, that works. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Of course. I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
First of all, this hat.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about it for everybody else?
It?
This hat is I don't like it. I love it. That hat is awesome. Everything. Totally fit for a queen.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely
so much.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I love hats. It's part of my the JOI swag.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we could get into some of these questions that we had for you.
Okay.
So one of the things that I was wondering, and because I did watch the original Mole back in the day on ABC. I think that was like 2001 was the first season. And so like when I didn't even realize, right away that Netflix was like rebooting the show. And when I saw that was happening, I got so excited. And Kyle started watching it and like told me that it was amazing. So I had to start watching it too immediately. I watched the first 8 episodes I watched in one day.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
wild.
I know.
It's addicting.
But so I'm just curious. It so is. But one question that I have is, did you watch the original Mole on ABC? And like, if so, like, how did that sort of affect your strategy in the game?
First season with Catherine and the 4th season with Bill. And my strategy was to go in, be a team player, add as much money to the pot, because I knew I was that confident. But once you get there and you start to hear conversations, the strategy for me changed. I knew immediately, throw suspicion on myself. So the original is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just so happy to see the Mole back. And it was so much fun to watch you on it. Kyle, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to build just right on that. So, talking about now how your strategy changed coming into this. Obviously, we all know that you are a pilot, and there was much ballyhooing going on regarding like the map reading in Challenge 1. So, was that an intentional thing? Were you trying to throw some suspicion on yourself, or was it like this map was just so crazy and you just could not get down with it?
Yeah. So the first mission, I was so overwhelmed. Okay, you have this amount of time to complete it, and I'm like, gosh, I can have some water. So there was cameras everywhere, and funny enough, Avery was able to explain her strategy. A lot of my confessionals were not aired, in which I explained their first mission, and that was the only mission that I got into the game. I was given a map, and my wheels were already turning. I'm like, I know what's going on here. I know what this is to do. And it didn't make any sense. I'm a very logical person. I know how to read a map. Yeah, it was like it was made of like crayon. You know, go find this landmark, and then one of the landmarks was a spaghetti tree. And I'm looking up, and I'm like, okay. So I decided to just take my castmates, and which I'm glad I did, because you know it drew a lot of stuff up there in the beginning.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, you had me thinking you were the mole right out of the gate. I was like, no way, she's supposed to be a pilot. She don't know where she is. I'm like, I don't know. She's really trying it right out of the gate.
It was frustrating because I talked about it in the it wasn't aired. So yeah.
Well, it did make for a fun edit, though. It certainly gave us a lot to talk about. So it wasn't completely a bad decision.
It was like I was a ruthless savage bee in that show. I came out of the game. I came into the game swinging, and a savage player, but I was also methodical. I was of what I was doing, and I was very kind and nice to the other cast. To me, and they still do.
No.
Yeah, we heard you.
And I had an alliance. And I have an alliance. I had an alliance in the show that they didn't show. So you guys.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by alliances and things like that, especially in a game set up like this, you know, because we come from a different background. You know, we're Big Brother fans, which we can't wait to talk to you about, because there's been a lot moving towards you in that regard. I'm sure you've seen. But, you know, coming from that, and like, obviously we have a different view of alliances here in our world. So like to see how it works in the mole, I can't wait to dive into that more. But I think we had questions about that already. So I'll wait. I'll stay in my lane. I'll stay in my lane.
You know, something that I'm interested in, because I know you've probably been asked about it a lot, right? The whole wager for the exemption card and the $25,000. Like, I don't blame you at all, because like you're trying to earn a free pass to get to the next part of the game. The whole idea is to like whoever wagers the most money, you know, and guesses the right person will get that exemption and that advantage. So like, you know. But I am curious, like, because we saw obviously like in the show, in the edit, like we saw like some of the reaction to it. But like, what were some of like your interactions with the rest of the cast, like afterwards, even like one-on-one? Did you have conversations with people about it and everything? And like, what was their?
They were pissed at me. Let me tell you. Oh my God, game. The only person who had my back with that was Jacob, and of course, since the job JOI, that was freaking awesome. But yeah, they were, but they quickly learned the kind of player I was. So, and I'm a very nice person. So I would say, they kind of gave me the cold shoulder, but after that, we were all one big happy family. A few hours, and then drama behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah, there's so much more around some of that behind the scenes stuff that intrigues me. You know, so like we find out, so you're all sitting in the room, right? And Alex tells you, okay, you know, JOI wagered $25,000 and she got it right. The exemption's hers. The pot is basically zeroed out. So everybody gets up and walks out, and then what? Like, what's the next thing that was said to you? Do you just go back to the hotel? Like, what time of the day was it? Was there dinner? Did people sit with you? Like, how did the rest of that day like unfold?
Yes. So it was about 8 o'clock, and then the news dropped. And you guys didn't see this, but I had separate conversations I had a conversation with Greg. I talked, who else did I talk to? Casey. And it wasn't okay. So as soon as it was announced that I took the 25K, I and I said, look, guys, this is why I took it. I've been hearing conversations off camera like I heard about the pot. So I thought somebody would go higher than me. And what they didn't show 10,000, which that night I'm like, I'm a little sus of you. Like I went high 10,000. You're the mole. But they didn't show that. And then to answer your question, we immediately had dinner with Alex, and the dinner lasted for about we're talking about the water, the plane mission, and everybody's just got the dossier, and then the 25K, and everybody's just like joy, 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 and I'm like whatever. But anyway, they didn't show that epic like dinner because we did table for a little. I mean, it wasn't the shithole mole like epic fight, but we did worse. And so after that, it was about midnight. I'm ready for bed, and so we all just kind of go to our Greg and Sandy, and the next morning, everybody's supposed to shoot, even Sandy, who was the nicest person
really still
of the entire cast. And I'm, how am I going to fix this? Like these kids really do care about the pot. I didn't know. I didn't know. I was getting to know everybody. And guys will make it back. It's because I've watched shows like this before. I knew that we had plenty of make the money back, and we did.
We did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's interesting to me too that you bring up Sandy, right? Being like such a nice person, whatever, but even she was mad. But because Sandy was the one, right, in the bar, who, as far as the edit goes, they made it look like she really led the charge of like not wanting Dom back in the game, right? That was Sandy. Am I correct in that?
Yes, that was Sandy.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you about that whole Dom situation too, because they really did. And I think we had asked Jacob about it. So, but I was just wondering, like, because Sandy, obviously, it looked like based on the edit, was taking all the heat for it. Like everybody else seemed, they made it look like they were down. So, like, what was your opinion though on the Dom thing? Was there any part of you that, wanted to see him come back in the game, or were you on the same page of being like, no, he's out? Why are we bringing more people back?
Yeah, no, I didn't want Dom back. Dom was a character. No, he was cool, but it didn't make any sense. And the reason that let's bring him back is because I knew he wasn't coming back, and it was almost kind of like a like a sympathy vote, I guess, But I said I wanted him back. I think it was Cassie and myself who voted. Yeah, Sandy took a lot of heat for that, and I felt so bad. When I watched that edit back though, man, she's a badass. Like she took control of the situation. But at the end of the day, everybody decided no. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would have come to the same decision.
Magic of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're giving him an advantage. He knows, I believe he voted maybe Avery that night, and he comes back into the game and he spills the not hold water. They would tell each other, who they're voting for, and I voted for this person, and it just gives him a leg up in the game. And it's a
like, I mean, I could go either way on that, because couldn't you also argue then that, like, if he just went out and he went out this early, his reads are clearly like super, super off. So like maybe there's no harm in bringing him back, like
that's true. But the $25,000 that I took from the pot would not have made sense. So it would have made sense for him to come back.
Right. For that reason. Absolutely. Yeah. No, once somebody's gone, somebody's gone. It like, there's really no good reason, because either way, it just moves you further down the list, right? I survived this elimination. Now I basically didn't if we let somebody back in. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Here for it. Yeah.
Oh, I made that $25,000 bet. I could not. I tried to, and you would have to make split-second decisions just like that. And I wrote it, and I was like, oh, Alex, you got to leave it the same. And I was like, okay. So that's a little bit of regarding that.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
So, I'm curious to hear your opinion. So, the moment that that Kyle actually impersonated of your reaction to Cassie taking the exemption, which was great.
Kyle, do it again.
That was one of my favorite. I think I rewound that like 20 times.
I couldn't count because
That
I've
was
already rewatched
hilarious.
it, like the whole series, and I just watch it again and again. Every time I come up to it, I gotta keep going. It's just too good.
Kyle, I don't even remember. I'm like, dang, I don't even remember doing that. I was distraught, and I'm like, no.
I'm sure you were. I would have been distraught too. What a mess. The person that we selected to go first.
Yes.
Is how you're gonna do us. Yeah.
Did you have any?
Right.
Did you have any feeling at all that Cassie was going to take it? Like, were you surprised, or were you not surprised at all, or what was that moment like?
I was surprised. You saw the scream.
I know. Now that
I
reaction was
Befuddled.
genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shook. In my mind, I'm thinking about a glass of wine, a bubble bath that I was taking that night, and when I've never slept on a floor before in a warehouse.
I was gonna say too, like,
life. And
I wanted to hear more about the experience there too, in the warehouse. Like, what was that like, being chained to other people, have to sleep on the floor?
Oh my gosh! And Greg and I talked a bunch of. My 5-year-old son is here, so I'm trying to. Yeah, we just talked a bunch of ish that night. We had a good time. Low fight. I believe I was trying to whisper to Jacob on the opposite end, like, what are we doing? Everybody was just frustrated. Everybody was, but we tried to make light of the situation and just have a good time. And special, you see me say she took $25,000, or she took the exemption floor. But what you didn't hear me say after that was, at least when I took the $25,000, we resort.
Right.
We slept well. We still ate.
Had our bellies full. We went back to the bungalow, played.
So funny. Well, you made mention there of like having some conversation with Jacob, or at least attempting to. And like that was one of my favorite things that we saw on social media after the season ended, was now seeing the relationship that the two of you had together, because we didn't get to see a lot of that on the show.
I know.
Save for the one challenge you did together, going back and forth on that train heist. That wasn't a heist, but like the train race, we'll call it. So can you tell us more about that and your relationship with him and how it started? And I just think it's just the most endearing thing.
Yeah.
Great. I knew that he was a very nice person to earth in the beginning, and I decided this is somebody I want to work with. After the jungle mission, we had a good 2 weeks off, and we were working out together. And I said, like, I know it isn't you. Let's win this thing. I want you to take it home. Let's make it to the end. Us two. And okay. And the rest is history. And our strategy was simple. He threw suspicion on him, and we try to figure out who is voting who on the. Had a really good strategy going. We knew Samira was voting Greg out. Osei, how he voted, and Pranav. We weren't quite sure about was Avery, and I found out that Sandy had been voting for Cassie, but took the quiz, she changed it up and she voted for Avery, which goofed me up in the end, saying he went home due to a Kasi vote. But anyway, getting back to your question, Jim, he's very down to earth, and I knew I could trust him. Very smart. That we went on though, it was a cluster. Like the magic of TV. Like they really embellished that mission, and that about the map. Okay, the map was a riddle map. So you open it up. It isn't a road map. It was a map with little riddles and numbers that you have. Also, this very, very, very tiny little legend that if I didn't see it quick, we probably would have been a lot later to the train. And gosh, like when I saw that edit back, I'm like, really? It was one little narrow traveling down. We weren't, in the thick of Australia. It was one road and the side. We drove past the first mailbox because Jacob and I private property. Also, we had a time, not a time, but that we had to follow. When he tried to speed up, they were like, nope, like 45 miles per hour on that road.
Wow.
But made us late. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I'm actually happy I didn't know those things like beforehand. Like the edit does make it fun. Like I could see it being frustrating for you because you're like, no, this map was janky.
Yes.
It wasn't supposed to go like this. And it's like, but as a viewer, it's like, here she goes, this pilot again. They gave her another map, and now they're all over the place. And I was like, no, she definitely is the mole. Like she's the mole.
No,
like I appreciate the edit so much. Before that, it really kept me guessing for sure.
Yeah, my husband and I watched it together. He was like, babe, can you read a map? And we died watching the mole.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
that's great.
Areas. And then the memes that I would see on Twitter had me rolling for days. People are so witty.
Oh man.
And so funny.
I can only imagine sitting down on a plane. This is Captain Joy speaking. Oh, y'all, I don't know where we going today. Oh no,
y'all, y'all, check this out. Okay, so I had a 4-day trip, right? Our Miami to LaGuardia.
My neck of the woods.
Something. Love New York or Miami.
Yeah, New York.
Which one?
New York.
We're New
York.
York.
Okay.
New Yorkers.
So headed to LaGuardia. We have a mechanical. Okay, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, these people are gonna think I got them lost. But no,
sorry, y'all. I don't know where we are.
No, it was. But I told my husband that, and oh my God, like a wonderful time with this show and the edit. But yeah,
just imagining you like messing with the flight, be like, all right, guys, we were supposed to go to LaGuardia, but we're at Newark. Sorry.
Sorry.
I can't wait.
Close enough.
I can't wait. Yeah. If somebody recognizes me from the show, like, hey guys, we're in Hawaii. Welcome.
Welcome.
Enjoy your stay.
Yes.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
That's so good.
Wow. Oh man, that's so good. I'm curious. Did you have like a favorite mission that you guys did like on the season?
Yeah, just being that high up. Oh gosh, it was freeing. So gusty that day, but the views were absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I was just like being that high up in the air. I don't, but it's very challenging. Like I've skydived before, but it's an airplane. It's a lot different. But just hanging there with the harness on and having to trust the person to help guide you down the mountain. Yeah. But it was fun. Yeah, especially because I had that 10K in my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you can leave me on the ground. No, thank you. I don't care what's in this bag. I ain't going up there. I'm staying right down here.
Yeah. Don't y'all think that challenge should have been more money? It should have been like worth 50,000.
It should have been
right?
more money. And what
Yes.
training did you guys get before that? Did you just get thrown into these situations? Like what?
Thrown into the situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I
That's
think,
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, I think one person said, just don't look down.
Yeah, really.
Just-
Being exposed to these things for the first time, just to have Will screaming at you that you're not adding enough to the pot. Like,
I know.
I'm like, I know if you don't leave me alone, sir. As I'm dangling up over this cliff.
Oh,
like, are you crazy?
We were always buddies, Will and I. Oh my gosh. And I'm glad you didn't see that. But before that mission started, I looked at SOB. Like, you need to relax.
Yeah.
Your ass is staying behind. Piece of work.
So I absolutely believe that. Yeah. People would definitely be thinking I'm the mole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I came here to play a social game. I didn't come here to be dangling across miles up. Absolutely not. No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
And the winds were gusting like 50 miles per hour. Like, you shaking like a leaf traversing down that mountain. It was insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be fine adding nothing to the pot. Don't put me in it. I told y'all don't put me in here. So if you don't get any money from my bag, that's on you. I told you.
You know what the questionnaire before, this was in quarantine, and you had to list certain you're afraid, and they preyed on your fears. So that was that they preyed on our fears. Yeah.
Wow.
As well as the snake about that, which is why I think I had a snake around me. The production, like they were sick people, but it was a good show. It was a good show.
No, it certainly was. It was.
They know what they're doing.
I have certainly learned, though, if I'm going to be on a reality TV show, I'm gonna be lying about all this stuff that I say I'm scared of. Like, I'm scared of Jell-O. I'm scared of staplers. I'm scared of just like the most random stuff.
Everything that you
You are not gonna catch me out here looking like a clown, making fun of me, clipping me nonstop. Absolutely not. Memes me? Oh no. They're not gonna do me like that. Yeah, no.
That's so funny. Oh man.
So, by the end of the game, right? You guys were, the top three, you, Cassie, and Will, and I know, you end up feeling like Will is the mole, right? But what was there any part of you that felt like it was Cassie? That, like, how close were you maybe to going the other way with that? Like, like, were you totally certain about Will, or were you kind of up in the air at all?
Oh yeah, my gut was telling me it was Cassie for sure. And in fact, I was overthinking it so much that I was putting myself in the shoes of a producer. Like, okay, if I was a producer doing this show, would I choose as the mole? I would choose somebody who's after the money, who's very who makes mistakes from time to time, which was not aired. Someone showed him making mistakes, and he did, try to take $15,000 out of the pot. But my gut was telling me it was caught. I'm like, I've made some really bold, risky moves in this game. I believe she's doing the same. Sandy left voting for her. I thought she was trying to make good TV there at the end. And it was a really gosh. And I kick myself to this day because I'm like, you knew it was her. You worked her blatantly sabotaging, but I overthought it in the end. Literally going off fumes. I was tired. I was ready for it to be done.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, there was so many different moments with Kazi that were like really questionable. She was catching a lot of heat for the train thing, and honestly, that looked really hard. Anybody could have messed that up. Like, leave her alone on that one.
Yeah.
But that bird thing, the bird tracking, tracking bird. I mean, that really could have gone anyway.
Yes.
I couldn't tell the difference between any of those birds that you guys were going back and forth on. No, it's this bird. No, it's that one. They both look the same. They're gross. Just let them both go.
No, I could tell that was maybe the most suspicious thing.
Oh, really?
From Kasi. I was like, and then even the whole thing when you were like, like there's the birds, they're circling, and she's like, I don't see birds anywhere. I was like,
yeah,
there's a giant pack of birds flying in circles right there.
Right. Like with that mission, I'm like, she didn't really talk much to the cast. She kind of kept to herself, but when I did, I'm like, I don't know if she's just a complete airhead. But yeah, you're right. That was very blatant. I didn't know what to think because I didn't know her as a person. Like I said, like I just kept, grappling with the fact that I was trying to get things straight in my head as far as like who voted for who, and that's
well, I really I thought that your logic too, like for thinking that Will could be the mole, was very sound, honestly, too, because I think it was you that said it, sort of like the whole idea of like he that giveth taketh away, right? It's like the guy that's going around being the loudest, right? Being the loudest, like, oh, look at how much money I'm putting in, and I'm the only one that wants to get all this money. It's like you have to look for the little moments. Well, does he really want us to get this money?
Yes. And another thing that I kept thinking about was leadership roles and put people where he thought that they should be. And I'm like, that's so Scoop always went with what he said. Nobody ever spoke up and said no. Like I was like, but you don't see it. Everybody just kind of followed suit. But it's his personality. He's a competitor, and
Wow.
Did your suspicion with Kasi go up or down after that mountain challenge? As she's pushing the like cash box of ice with the cash in it, just pushing them right off your sled, and like what was that? What was going through your thoughts like in those moments too? Because like that could have also gone either way.
I know.
It's so tricky. Yeah,
I know. Very blatant sabotage there, but like I said, I wanted her TV moment. As far as throwing the blocks off. When she was taking the blocks of ice off of the polk, I didn't feel was determined to, because I was walking uphill, and I didn't feel it getting lighter.
I wouldn't notice it either.
Yeah, we paused.
You have a lot of things up against you.
Cold. We paused production for a little bit because my hands were literally like become my hands. They were changing colors. But we still had to continue on with the mission. But yeah, I knew it was her. I knew it was her. But that just taking that last test, I second guessed myself big time, and I was replaying things in my head with that very first jungle mission where he had to bring the cargo or steal the cargo from the airplane, and I think I got overconfident there because I was the only one who figured it out. I was like, Will took it. A total say. I was like who took it? And I'm like, okay, well I got that correctly. All of these thoughts are replaying in my head, and what you guys don't see are the side conversation, which influenced my my decision as well. Side conversation with two players. So yeah.
Once you got to the end, I still wasn't really sure who it was. And I certainly credit the edit for that. I'd say, because this really could still go either way. I could see it being Will, again, because like, yes, the mole might want to appear as if they care the most about the pot. So that's interesting. What an interesting take. Obviously we have Kazi, who's been fumbling things left and right. And then we have this pilot who, is no Rand McNally. So I was like, I don't know what to think of this. It was a fantastic finale. I wish we got more though. I would have liked to see like more interviews from you
my
all.
Gosh.
Everyone's like, post-season thoughts.
Yeah, that finale was not long enough.
No, not nearly.
No. Owens deserve to hear the big plays. We talked about the season.
Yeah.
We talked about everything. I think that they should do a reunion still because a lot of questions are unanswered. It's deserved to know, everything. So yeah. You guys were cheating.
We were cheated. We were cheated.
Yeah.
Justice for us. Justice for us.
Yeah.
Justice for the fans.
Exactly. Hashtag justice for the fans.
Yeah, really. Let's get it started. It won't go anywhere. It'll be dead by midnight. But we'll start.
Oh, that's so funny.
I have a question. So we actually touched on it, I think, a little bit before, though. So now that you've had this experience on the Mole, like, are there any other shows that you like, competitive reality shows that you watch now that you would want to be on? Like, is there any one particular show you'd want to be on, or is there multiple you'd want to be on? Because we would love to keep watching you. So,
yeah, we need more joy. Literally and
so
figuratively.
Well, thank you. I love Big Brother. Huge fan of Big Brother.
Yes.
And my husband, like I said, he's the real MVP because he really pushed me to do well. And if there was an offer to do a game like Big Brother, we talk about it. And with his support, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
would love to see it. I'd love to see it. How much of Big Brother have you seen now? Are you well versed?
When I got back from Australia, I caught the Cookout Big Brother and I love them both. Yeah. I was a really big fan. I cried when she won. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
We're big Taylor Hale stands here. So
I know.
We are.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. She really, especially in the beginning of BB24, like this last season, like, because of how terribly she was treated at times, like she really became the only reason that I wanted to watch, like just to see how she did and how, like, just the way she overcame everything, and like just so incredible. Yeah, I love Taylor.
Yeah.
And we love the Cookout also.
Yeah, I agree. I did the same.
Actually, the treatment of her in the beginning made me think that I was like, I don't even know that I want to cover this show. I don't want to talk about this every week. I'm like, this is getting real rough. I was like, I don't know how we get past this.
Yeah,
it was had the most beautiful ending.
Right. It was such like a negative start to the season, and I was like, the only reason that like worth watching is to see Taylor. Like, I don't want to see any of these other people.
I know. At the end, I'm like, man, and to win, and I'm so glad she was sitting there next to Monty because I knew she'd win, and her speech was so touching. But like you said, I watched it to win it. I didn't. It was incredible.
Yeah,
it's so cool to hear you. It's so cool to hear you, talk about how you're such a Big Brother fan, because we really started doing this podcast because of Big Brother. Like, we're such fans of that show that we were like, let's do a podcast where we talk about it. And now we've obviously branched out to other things, but so it's so cool, like, because we were such a big fan of yours. So to hear that you're such a big, Big Brother fan is very, very, very exciting.
Yes, my me watching Big Brother, like she watched it from the first season with. What is the Janelle? Did you guys? Janelle.
Oh, Janelle is one of my faves.
Yes,
yeah.
I know. And we watched the all, and when Janelle and her alliance guy was voted out at the beginning, and I was like, Kaser, yeah.
The season ended as soon as she walked out the door. As far as I was concerned.
I agree.
Yeah. It wasn't a
Who
single
thing
that happened after that. Not a single thing.
Yeah. No, did you guys have any other people that you're rooting for on Taylor's? Somebody else?
I mean, else we were rooting for on that season. I mean, not really. I mean,
See,
like obviously we like Joe, we like Joseph.
Right.
People were rooting for. I guess not really. I liked Brittany. I did like Brittany. She was a little erratic at times, but like I thought she had a good head, and I liked Michael up until like the end there. His
I know.
exit got a little murky, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I don't like how he used the whole like Taylor Monty thing and that whole thing with Kyle. I didn't really love that. But then I guess you are also challenged to the thought of like, okay, like these are strangers. He is playing for 750,000. Does every move you make have to be to make a statement or send a message? Like maybe not. Like maybe sometimes you do have to be a little selfish to make sure you win the money. I don't know. I guess an argument can be made for that, but I don't want to get canceled. So,
Yeah.
But like, so part of me sort of gets it. Like, right, because like if this is going to happen anyway, I can kind of get down with the train of thought of like, well, if you're going to go down for this, then why shouldn't I benefit from it? Like, there's a world where that makes sense in a game like that, because this is a game at the end of the day. So,
Yes.
It's tricky. It's really tricky.
It is tricky. It's tricky. And they have to realize too, like America's watching and can hear the live feed. So represent yourself.
See it all.
Yes.
And I'm glad you brought up the live feeds, because I was like honestly surprised how many people on this last season of Big Brother like didn't realize how much we really do see. Like,
and they just kept saying, "Oh no, the feeds don't turn on for like a week," and it's like that hasn't been the case for a few years, dear. Sorry to tell you, but not sorry to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I found it very hard to root for anybody other than Taylor on that season, honestly, because even as she started to get some people right and had an alliance with the leftovers and stuff, like pretty much everybody in that group had joined in on like the bullying and stuff that had happened in the beginning. So like even as she like started to build more relationships with people, I still always had that in the back of my head. Like you started this off treating her very badly. So but
I did. Yeah,
they did.
It was weird.
Yeah,
they did. But I'm not making an excuse for it. But like in all fairness, when you get into a big group with a bunch of strangers and somebody happens to start making comments about one person, it is kind of unfortunately human nature to kind of like, even if you don't actively participate in it, you're not necessarily going to take a stand against it. You want to be perfect and say like, I would. And it's like on night one though, would you?
Sure.
Probably not. Yeah, like probably not.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to stand up for somebody you don't know. Just like you're not going to start an altercation with someone standing up for someone on first night. Like it doesn't like I don't have bonds with any of these people, so I'm not going to ride for you, and I may not ride against you. I'm just like here sipping my champagne, still doing my intro.
Yeah, observing.
Yeah.
You said the game is selfish. You have to think about yourself and like this person leaves. Since they're not liked. But the bullying was just,
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot more about Big Brother than I thought we would today. That's so funny.
Big Brother is life.
Yes.
It really is great.
Yes. It is so
good. We need to see you on that show, so we're gonna have to make some phone calls or something.
Please do.
We have a lot of hashtags to start.
Yes, we're gonna start a movement. Let's start an official movement. Yeah, get Joy on Big Brother.
Yes.
Get Joy anyway. We just need more joy in general.
Yeah, that's fine too. So we're also big fans of like the challenge. Would you ever do a show like that?
What? I've never watched the challenge.
Ooh, okay.
I've seen little snippets, and it looks they're watching because I met David the other night from the challenge, and I remember seeing him. I saw him like in a big ring battling another guy from Big League, maybe I can't remember, but it looked really intense. So that's next for me. For sure.
They're
Very
doing
physical.
they're doing a challenge Ride or Dies season currently that's going on MTV, and that I
Ah,
feel like that would be like you and Jacob, right? That's got to be
yeah.
that would be perfect for you guys.
I would love it.
Yes,
I would support that.
yeah. We yeah, we would do amazing anything. I want you guys to see our friendship and see how well we work together, which is why we got so close to the finals, you know.
Right.
And we kept it hush hush. We kept it from everybody.
Was part
So-
of your shithole mole comment part of keeping it hush hush?
Yeah, was that just off the cuff? Did you like come up with that line ahead of time, or was that like
No.
improvised in the moment?
It kind of came to my head, and I was like, I'm going for it. Like I'm just gonna like lay.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was like, wow,
that is amazing.
Yeah. And so our argument, he winks at me, and I'm like, get it.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely would love to see more of you too. Are you familiar with The Amazing Race at all?
Yes. I need to.
Ooh.
Gosh, I need to get back because I met another young lady and her husband at like a reality part. I need to watch it.
Yeah,
But it's intense.
Wow.
I hear.
Yeah. It's a fun
Is it
watch.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're traveling from country to country, you know, doing all these little challenges, little tasks and things, and whoever gets to the pit stop at the end first, they get to continue.
Yes.
And just eliminating one couple every leg. So just after seeing you and Jacob work so well together, well, arguably, and then seeing your friendship post season, it would be really exciting to see you both there too. I think you do well.
Yeah. They do use a lot of maps in The Amazing Race, though.
Lots of maps.
Oh, do
Lots
they?
of maps. Yeah, so you'd be up. Lots of opportunities to redeem yourself.
Y'all, those maps are not real.
They didn't look real. They didn't look real. There was no trees or anything, no landscape. It looked like just like a line with little marks. Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
They did.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I think those are all the questions that I know you're very busy. I know you've got other stuff going on. So
yeah, she has a real life.
Yeah. So
no, we're good.
I think that's all the Okay. Kyle, what about you? Got any other questions? Any other things on your mind?
I don't. I just I can't tell you how much we appreciate you taking time out of your day and your schedule just to talk to us silly people. So thank you so much. This was amazing.
Course.
Never imagined like sitting there watching this on my couch, like I'm gonna get to talk to her. Like
right.
This is really cool.
This crazy
thank
woman.
you so much for this.
Of course.
No, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, really.
It was fun. It was.
Yeah. No, that's okay. You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was an amazing experience, and it's been talk to guys like yourself. I'm just telling you guys what really happened, and it feels a year and a half later, and I appreciate getting to know you both. It's been.
Thank you so
we've been texting each other about this, for the last week. I was like, when I got the response from you, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So thank you so much.
He's like, I messaged Joy and I'm like, she's not gonna say anything back to us.
No.
And he's like, oh my gosh, she responded. I was like, what did she say? No. And he's like, no, she said yes. I was like, get out of here. Yeah. Really exciting.
Yeah. I'm glad that you invited me, and I'm glad we were able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, open door anytime you want to come back and hang.
Yeah.
When Big Brother starts, come back and have a chat. Yeah, for sure.
I will.
Yeah.
We could talk about it.
Would love it.
That would be so awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
And then hopefully one day we'll be covering a season of Big Brother that you are on. So that's another thing.
And that I win.
And that you win. That's correct.
Yes. Speaking into existence now.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Joyful winner,
All right.
BB25.
Yes.
And America's favorite player too, right?
Yeah, we
yes.
did it once. We can do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Well, thank you.
So,
Thank you
y'all
so much.
are awesome.
Oh, thanks.
And
You're awesome.
yes, oh, so awesome. Anybody that's watching, listening, thank you so much. If you want to check us out on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod. That's on Twitter and Instagram, or check out our website at stratchatpod.com. All right. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank